It's an interactive session by the Senate's Joint Committee on Finance, coming days after President Bola Tinubu submitted the medium-term expenditure and fiscal strategy paper to the National Assembly. Ministers of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning, DG Budget Office, NNPCL, among others, are in attendance.
We're expecting a robust bumper harvest this year, and this normally accounts for 40% of inflation.
In the fact-finding exercise, the revenue-generating agencies delineated their 2024 budget performance as well as the 2025 revenue projections.
As at the middle of November, sometimes last week, we have reached these targets. We will expect to make an increase of 20% on the 2024 performance.
Mr. Chairman, we will exceed our overall delivery by at least ₦1 trillion. Our target, our budget was 12.3 trillion, but we will meet 13.1 trillion by the end of this year. We will deliver at least 23.7 trillion naira to the Federation next year.
The presentations by the agencies apparently indicated excess revenue targets for 2024, prompting the question of borrowing.
All the presentation made, they said they have made their target. What has been collected is over 51 trillion naira. And what has been budgeted is 30-something trillion. What are we doing with the excess revenue?
Borrowing, as we've said, is not a crime, it's not a problem. When we borrow in line with what is being approved for us by National Assembly, we are actually carrying out our responsibility. So meeting the target and borrowing, they are not conflicting, and it's not self-serving.
The revenue effort has been good, but we still need to do better. And in the meantime, we still need to borrow productively, effectively, and sustainably, all in our name to help the poorest and most vulnerable.
However, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission have different views on the subject of borrowing.
My brothers in NNPC, we should go back and look at the OICs. The revenue hanging in that OICs is in dollars. If we can direct this into our accounts, we don't need to borrow.
What is important for countries as well as companies, that is what analysts pay attention to, is the projection consistent with what the entity say it is doing. Are we funding a strategy? Yes, we are.
The Joint Committee is now expected to peruse over all the reports, particularly of other agencies unable to make their presentation ahead of the passage of the MTEF and Fiscal Strategy paper this week. Meanwhile, in view of some unsatisfactory responses, the Finance Committee has further invited the NNPC, RAMFAC, as well as the Nigeria Immigration Service for another urgent session to provide clarifications on the critical issue of revenue. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.